Well, hello there, friends and family. As you can see, we're in Alice, but we're also at the Alabama Cancer Care Center. And I just finished up my second day of radiation treatment for my prostate cancer. Yeah, I didn't bore you today with seeing me set out for my epic journey to the capital city like I did yesterday, or the fact that I arrived. And I just figured I'd touch base with you here after I got through. I mean, same procedures yesterday. The only thing we had to do differently today was try to get my bladder full. And I drank two 20-ounce Dasani bottled waters on the way here. And got in there. Of course, I had to wait for about 30 minutes. You know, I always get here early. And towards the end of my wait, I had an urge to go not one but two. Yeah, you know, that's from all that cleaning out the rectum stuff. Anyway, along with that, number one, I leaked some of that out. So then they get me back there and put me on the machine, you know, after you get undressed, and they can take, you know, a CAT scan of what you look like inside, checking your bladder. You know, this is how they position everything. Anyway, they could see my bladder had all emptied out, and I couldn't believe it. I know I didn't pee out no 40 ounces. Most of that was still in my stomach. So had to get off the table, and they brought me another bottle of water. Had to drink that, had to wait 30 minutes, where in the time I thought, oh Lord, I ain't gonna be able to do this. That urge to pee. You know how it is when you get older. Yeah, it was so intense. And then they finally get me over on the machine, and then they do a check to make sure my bladder's full with their CAT scan part of the machine. And they came out and said, yep, you're good to go. They inserted the rectal balloon again, and there was just wave after wave of, you know how it is, that urge to go. But I fought my way through it and finally got it done. Today it felt like an eternity. I mean, it wasn't painful or anything. It's just that constant urge, you got to go. And as soon as they let me down off that thing, that's exactly what I did. I went to go. So hey, I'm going to check out, maybe you can tell me, you know, where we should all eat today. Since, you know, I got a few of you here in the car. And like always, I apologize for leaving you out in the car. You know, you get all hot, sweaty, and moist, start bickering, you know, instead of just playing on your phones. So yeah, in the comments below the video, let me know. If you were in a capital city today, where would you go to grab a snack or a meal with all your friends and family? And let me see. We'll all discuss it here off camera and see where we all go. We can't take all of y'all, just what fits in the car, okay? Ooh, it's such a nice day. Well, some might say it's not, because it's highly overcast and just a light breeze. And it's sort of gloomy and doomy. But I'll take that, because we've been getting some rain. So that's a good thing in Mr. Tom's neighborhood, because it has been a long, long while since an area drop of rain has fallen on my little piece of paradise in the deep south of Alabama. Ooh, yeah. I'll take a cloudy, gray day any day. After weeks and weeks, nothing but blazing heat and dry ground. Thank you, Father God. Oh, there you are, friend and family. And as you can see, we're back home. We're on the front porch. And earlier in this episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, you saw we were sitting outside the Alabama Cancer Care Center after we just finished up. And I gave some explanations of what just went on. Yeah, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit more before we head on into the house. See, today's the next day. We had our treatment yesterday, and
some complications arose. Not from the treatment, but from my over-preparation for the treatment, you might say. And part of the requirements for the particular course of treatment that I'm undergoing, which is a 5-day radiation treatment instead of the 28, one of the things that's most important that you must do is get your bladder full. Yep, and there's reasons for that. One reason is due to the location of your prostate gland. It sits underneath your bladder. Yes, it does. So, whether it's the 5-day, which is far more higher dosages of radiation, or even the 28-day, one of the consequences, or you might say side effects of the radiation treatment, is bladder irritation. And you don't want that, which could cause to some bleeding and other complications too. So they require you to have a full bladder. And they say is what's as full as what's comfortable for you. Well, what's comfortable for one may not be comfortable for another one. In my case, an extremely full bladder, like they would like to have, in all truth, is extremely uncomfortable for me. Yeah, the days of being able to hold it, driving halfway across America, oh, that boat has sailed long ago. Yes, it has. But when I say it was a struggle for me yesterday, it has nothing to do with the actual radiation treatment or anything the cancer center does. It's all about keeping my bladder full. And, you know, I did 2 full bottled waters, 20 ounces each, 40 ounces before I arrived. That was possibly overdoing it a touch. And then I'd done, you know, the colon cleanse, which apparently, even though I thought it was through, it wasn't, which caused me to expel my bladder just prior to treatment. And that resulted in my bladder being emptied out. And they can see that when they put you up on this machine, because they use this CAT scan to position you, locate the prostate. Of course, they can see the bladder too. So they had to take me off, bring me some more bottled water, which I drank, wait 30 minutes, put me back up on the machine, and before they inserted the rectal balloon, which I might add is the most uncomfortable thing in this course of treatment, yeah, they saw my bladder was full, and off we went. However, all through that treatment, even though you can't feel a thing, I mean, you can't feel this beam or the radiation, and I know, and it really bothers me, that many on social media will often, I might say kindly, over-dramatize what they're going through. Yeah. On day 1, I didn't feel a thing. Day 2, as far as the radiation treatment or anything, there was no burning, no sensation, no nothing. And I have no burning, no sensation, or anything the day after, as I sit here. My whole problem yesterday was with struggling to keep all that fluid in me while we proceeded with the radiation treatment, which takes a little over 10 minutes once that part of the process is started. The first part of the process in this possibly 20-minute procedure is where, you know, they verify the location of the prostate, they align you, and check to make sure your bladder's full. And once all those checks are done, everything looks well, then they start with the radiation treatment. And like I'm saying, no matter what you hear from others, for whatever reasons people wish to do this, in my experience, now on day 2, and that's why I'm documenting all of this, so you know, and hopefully it helps you with any of your anxiety or fears, which I have seen have caused people not to seek treatment, which in me is dastardly, and probably causes people to lose their lives. So yeah, there's no pain, no burning, no sensation at all. I've had no bleeding to this extent. And I will document everything as I go through this, and I'll be truthful about it. Because it does me no good, and I can't sleep nights if I were to embellish this process, over-dramatize it for my own personal gain. There, I said it. So, judge others as you wish to. My only struggle was fighting that urge to pee, which can get right intense, if you know, especially as we age. As we get older, that urgency to go can become something where we're in our youth, we could ignore it and continue on. Now that we've gotten older, at least for me and many I know, hey, when it's time to go, it's time to be looking for a place to go. Let me know in the comments below what it's like for you too. Curious minds would like to know. But yeah, it was because of that struggle and my overindulgence too in water, I might add. Because by the time I drank that third bottle of water, I'd consumed 56 ounces of water. So we all got out in the car. My intentions were to take you all out for lunch. But I hadn't driven 3 miles down the road before I was having to look for another place. Yep, you guessed it. To go. And that would be a reoccurring occurrence another time as I made my way back home. So I had to ditch the plans on going out to lunch and get on to the house. Now once I did reach town, I whipped into the Marathon. That's, local gas station convenience store on the south end of town. And they have, and they sell, and if you never had it, and you've got it near you, crispy crunchy chicken. It's Cajun, injected, infused, fried chicken, and much more. And I love that stuff. Always moist, and it's not hot and spicy, but it's got that Cajun spice and a crispy, crunchy exterior. So I ran on in. To be truthful, I had to use the restroom again. But while I was there, they picked me up a 4-piece chicken, a small order of livers, fried in that same batter. Ooh, dog, if you ain't ever had those fried chicken livers from Crispy Crunchy Chicken, then you haven't lived. I can eat them hot or cold. They're that good. And then I bought a small order of potato wedges, which I might add, since many of you were still in the car tagging along, by the time I got home, half that order of those chicken livers, as well as some of the potato wedges, was gone. Well, I saw y'all in the back seat, reaching over and grabbing things out. Thankfully, you left me the 4-piece chicken, okay? But anyway, that's what the struggle was all about. It wasn't about the treatment. It wasn't about the radiation. I come home, I look at me, I can't even tell anywhere on me that this has happened. And all through last night, and this is going on about 3 in the afternoon on Friday. The treatment was yesterday on Thursday, starting at 12:30 noon. Not pretty much. Can't feel any different than I felt before it all started. Now I'm not going to say as we go on with treatment 3, 4, and 5, maybe that'll change. And if it does, I'll tell you. Because the whole purpose of these episodes of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, that I thought I'd never make, is to be informative of my experiences going through this. Truthfully. Not for any personal gain. Yep. I could sit here and say a whole lot of things and make it sound like it's not. But I can't live with that. I've got to tell the truth. So if a few watch it, or the many, that's not what's important. It's what's important is that the people who do watch it are told the truth, so they can make an informative decision should this happen to them, and they need to decide what course of treatment is best for them too. So there you have it. And that's enough about my prostate and my day 2 of radiation treatment, because it's done. And I'm out here sitting, even though it's cloudy and overcast day, it don't get me down because it's only 75 degrees. And that is a miracle, considering yesterday was 88 and the day before was like 96. And here we are, the third day later, and it's 75 degrees. I'll take that any day. And as always, I got some of the kitty crew. Spooky's at my feet. And I think Cleo's around here somewhere too, behind me. Speedy, she's probably taking her afternoon nap. Yep, Spooky, he decided to get in a quick shoe claw. He's wanting to play. So there you go on this Friday. This is the way it is in my neighborhood. Let me know how it is in your neighborhood too, wherever you are in this big old wide world of ours. I appreciate y'all stopping in and going through this with me. We love you for all that you do. And hey, until we see you on that next video, you know, me and the kitty crew and the Princess Gracie, sometimes old Fluffy Muffin, Heathcliff, Dusty, and we got a new one member of the kitty crew that I'll show you if you ask me nice. Yeah, see you on that next episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood. Y'all take care, stay safe. May God bless you all as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Well guys, I think I'll get you some treats. I think I'll make me up some chamomile tea. Yeah, or maybe some ginger tea. Ginger tea would be better, right, Spooky? For the prostate? Yeah, I thought so. I always like to check in with my medical advisor, Spooky, too. Later, all.